Welcome to the first episode of Lights at Full. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brent Schmidt, alongside my other co-host, Brian Smith.
What's up, everyone? We're super excited to be putting this together. Brent and I have been talking about lighting and been friends for a while. And one of the things we realized is that we need to up the game for the DJs in our world. So this is a lighting podcast, but it's a lighting podcast focused on DJs and anyone that's in the event industry that's trying to up their game without necessarily being, a full lighting professional or lighting designer. So we want to try to bring the professional stuff to the DJ stuff and elevate everyone.
That is correct. So why are we doing this? It's because, well, frankly, we want everyone to be better at becoming better lighting designers. And also, too, while we're at it, also talk a little bit about tech stuff, some tips, some tricks, how to manage your lighting, and maybe some tools that would help make setups or the actual logistics end of your lighting rig better and possible for your events. So, Brian, would you have a goal here? Like, what's one of your goals here to kind of help educate this industry?
I think one of the things that, ever since I started kind of going down this road is I just really wanted to, and I say this to my clients all the time, I really wanted to make sure that their wedding didn't look like a Spencer Gifts from like 2002 in the mall. Like that was like one of my biggest things is I just never wanted that for someone's wedding. I didn't want it to look like their middle school dance. So I think one of the big things for me is trying to help DJs learn how to make their events look much more elevated, but without having to go and buy a whole bunch of new stuff, using what they already have to make a better overall experience for their clients and for their guests. What about you, Brent?
I really want to kind of take the mistakes and kind of the learning experiences that I went through when I was getting into this and kind of help people guide them into a better direction so that they're not spending their hard-earned dollars to buy cheap or fixtures that you're going to throw away because it was a bad purchase or it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. So like really help elevate people to invest better, invest smarter, and kind of take your events to the next level with just really thinking differently, because I think it's all about a mind game here with the industry. Like, yeah, you can buy all the lights that you want, but if you don't have that creative side of knowing how to light an event properly, then what's the point?
Yeah, it's just like DJing. You could go out and buy yourself, a Pioneer or Alpha Theta, whatever they call it now, A9 and some CDJ 3000s. That doesn't mean you're going to be an amazing DJ. You can still be a shitty DJ. And it's the same thing with lights. You could be on an old Pioneer SB2 and be an amazing DJ. And, you could be going out and buying, $10,000 moving heads, or you can make your $800 moving head do really cool stuff. Like, it's all about the tools. It's all about how you use the tools, not the tools themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's a little bit about the Lights at Full podcast here, but kind of want to get into who we are. So Brian, kind of where you're from, how long you've been in the industry DJing, and then, what's, I don't know, like a tip or something that you would throw out there as something for the industry to kind of take and run with it.
Yeah, happy to get into my history for those who are not familiar with me. So I've been DJing since I was in high school. I'm gonna neglect to tell you how many years that's been. However, it's been a while, and I actually kind of got started in a lot of this because I was a sound engineer. So I started learning to be a sound engineer when I was in high school. I went to college to become a sound engineer, was a touring sound engineer, worked in clubs in Boston, which is where I'm from, where I'm based still, and never wanted to be a lighting guy because sound engineers and lighting guys do not get along. It's like mortal enemies. It's like, Red Sox, Yankees. I mean, it's just, you just don't do it. But I broke the rules and here I am. But for me to break the rules, really how I kind of got into it was that I knew for my DJ events that I wanted something better than just sound active mode and lights doing random stuff. Cause I knew what good lighting meant for an event or for a live concert because of my years being in the industry. So it must have been like 2016 or 2017, and I was on Digital DJ Tips, and I saw an article about this new thing, Sound Switch, that was coming out that was going to link to your Serato, and your light show was going to be automated with it. And I was like, that's it. That's the thing that I want to do. And so when Sound Switch came out about a year later, I was one of the first people to buy it. I later found out that I was number 24 to buy it. And I was figuring it out, and I started looking around online to see if anyone else was using it, and I couldn't find anyone. So I started making videos, up on YouTube. So I was literally the first YouTube sound switch creator, and then ended up starting a group on Facebook, a user group that became the official sound switch user group and still is to this day, and kind of just fell into it in a way that I didn't expect, which has brought me to, I repped Sound Switch at Mobile Beat. I have, spoken at Midwest DJs. I've spoken at Harvest Sound, run some workshops, and now I'm a lighting guy, which like I said, I never expected I would be here, but here I am. So Brent, how
Yes.
about yourself?
Myself, well, I am from Cleveland, Ohio. I've been DJing for probably not as long as you, Brian, but I've been around the game quite a few years. My brother actually got me into this, and he kind of, went his separate ways, into his actual profession that he was studying in college. So when he was in college, it was kind of more of like a, hey, I need to make some extra cash. So I tagged along with him with weddings, dances, all that stuff. And I was a grunt worker. And then now I've kind of started getting up into learning all of the, what the wires do, and then, starting to DJ and mix. And from there, I was like, oh, wow, lighting looks really cool to do, because like you can throw any color that you want, back then, and like you're creating something really cool. And from there, started, DJing a lot more. And then I was like, wow, production looks really cool to do. And when I was in high school, one of the seniors at the time was like kind of like pushing me like, hey, Brent, like, I'm graduating this year. So like you kind of need to like kind of take the role and, be the person to handle all of the sound, the lights, and, any of the technical stuff here. I was like, all right, bet, let's do it. And so from there, it was just like a learning experience. And I had a lot of friends, either from family or, friends of a friend that would like kind of help guide me into like, hey, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, and kind of grow that way, and learn either the skills or the way how things are done the correct way. So you're not doing anything that was dangerous or anything like that. So here I am. I have my own production company, have my own DJ company. We do tons of events all year round, and different types of events. Like they could be weddings, they could be corporate, nonprofit events, galas, outdoor events, everything like that underneath the sun we do, which is really great. And it kind of also is like a mixed bag. Like you're getting a trails mix. Like you don't know like exactly what you're getting, which is really nice because, we're not so focused in on just we do weddings. Because now, granted, weddings are really great, but also too doing nonprofits or, fundraisers or, these just big events in general kind of show you like what else you can do, and, put your skills to the test there. So I also do some stuff with some of the local sports teams. On top of that, I know we'll probably get into that in some future episodes here about how the logistics and the production end of that stuff ties into what we could potentially do here as lighting designers and creatives. So that is a little bit about me. So you got Boston, Massachusetts, all the way to Cleveland, Ohio, bringing some knowledge for all of you to enjoy and of course learn here. Brian, got any questions? Maybe we can, set the scene for potential questions for people to ask us.
Yeah, my only question is, what do you all want to know? Between the two of us, we have a lot of experience in different areas. So, Brent just kind of hit on, knowing more in like a lot of the corporate and nonprofit stuff, which, I will say, when it comes to lighting, I actually like doing that stuff more because I feel like you are given way more creative freedom than you are on a wedding. And I think that getting skills in that world helps you to figure out how you can bring that to a wedding and convince someone that it's worth doing something that might be a little out of the box at a wedding. But like that's definitely like, ask questions about how we can do things like that. I think that's definitely important. What about you? Do you have anything like that you want people to reach out to us about?
I want you to hit us with any questions that you have, honestly. Like, I want to know what people out there are thinking, because I don't want to say like we're at a 500 level podcast here. Don't be afraid to throw your 101 questions in there, because we
For
want to
sure.
help learn. And, maybe that other person that is listening and watching might have that same question or something similar to that. So feel free to drop all of the questions. We're going to be here on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and probably even quite a few more. But definitely leave us any of your questions there. If you're on YouTube, leave it in the comment section below. We'll answer all of them. Or if you want to submit a question to our email, that is lightsatfullthepod@gmail.com. We'll put that in this podcast notes
Just to make
below.
sure we said the right thing.
Yes. So many things delivering here.
I did forget to do one thing in my spiel, and you did as well. So before we do the next thing, I do want to ask, what is your one tip that you want to leave our audience before we go into our next episodes?
Don't rig it. Don't rig it for the biscuit. Be safe.
All right.
Use that safety cable.
And I will, mine may be counterintuitive, but will know that I will explain this more in future episodes. But for me, less is more.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Less is more.
Dig deep into that one.
Yes. So, we're excited. We have a full list of topics that we want to hit. We have started to reach out to some guests that we want to have on the podcast. I think, if you're in the DJ world, some of these are going to be super exciting for you. Actually, everyone should be super exciting for you. You just might not know it until you listen to it. But some names that you're going to know, people that you're going to recognize, and I'm definitely excited about that. So we're going to do a mix of those. And I think our next episode is going to be, the biggest controversy in the DJ lighting world. Things that
drop it, Brian.
People get really heated about this. You either love them or hate them. We are going to talk about China lights and whether you should use them and whether you shouldn't, and the pros and cons of using, I hate to say China lights, but using factory direct versus using name brand lights. So I think that's going to be a really good one. Brent and I both have some different views on it, but also some overlapping views on it. And I think it's going to be a good conversation. And we're also not going to tell anyone that, they're an evil person for either of their viewpoints, because I'm tired of seeing that.
Yeah.
So expect some thoughtful conversation on that. And then I think we're also going to do some, in future episodes coming up, we're going to do some essential lighting fixtures, like what each of us thinks is like the core that you should start with. And then we are going to do some uplighting 401. So advanced techniques for uplights, so it doesn't look like you've just tiger striped your entire ballroom.
I love it. Well, if you're listening here on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a review there. And of course, if you have questions, submit them in the description below, email. And of course, on YouTube, leave it in the comment section below. Like Brian said, next episode, Chinese fixtures versus name brand. I'm Brent Schmidt, one of your co-hosts. That's Brian Smith, another co-host. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.